Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Tim Aslan here with another crypto update. Hope you all have been well. Guys, if you've been watching the channel for the last few weeks, you know that we just nailed this bottom right here and got a 5% move from the low. Absolutely beautiful. So let's do a quick recap and then talk about what's coming next. So, first of all, if you appreciate the analysis and we caught the top, we caught this bottom here, just make sure you're subscribed. And I do this all for free, so if you use my BitUnext link, if you're going to trade anyway, use it there below, and it helps me out, helps out the channel. But anyway, let's get right into it. So we caught this top, and we knew that this yearly open had not been tapped, so most likely we were going to get a good reaction from it. Not only did we have the confluence there at that yearly open, but we also had this point of control. We had this weekly level, and we had the golden pocket. And it couldn't have been more perfect. Originally, we kind of front ran it. I actually um, entered here, and once we bounced up here, moved stop to entry, and obviously we came down again and up again. I took some profit, and then we swept the low. And I remember there was some news this day. So let's go into the smaller time frame. You can see how this was just red, 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 red. And we just hovered right at this area for one, two, three 15-minute candles where we were just hovering in that area. And, I was like, okay, is price going to bounce here? Is price going to bounce here? So I entered Bitcoin. I looked at some alts. Some alts look good too. I entered a few alts. If you guys are following on Twitter, you saw that. And on Twitter, also, this is why it's important. You guys are tracking on Twitter and Telegram, free Telegram below. On Twitter, I posted that we had some very bullish CVD divergence. So price was coming down hard. There were a lot of big sellers, but limit orders were absorbing all the selling, which was super bullish. And then all of a sudden, this crazy news event comes out that the tariffs will not be happening, and boom, we pump instantly. So really, really good trade. I'm happy that area worked out. And ever since that news base pumped, we've been chopping around right here. Um, we actually came down to this golden pocket right there, tapped it perfectly, and moved up. Today we retested that area. I was actually waiting for this low to get swept, and I would have entered more. Unfortunately, it just swept this low and then pumped up. And now we're still just chopping around. We came up to this previous week open, swept some liquidity here, and we're chopping around. So, what do I think is coming next? Let's go back to the 1 hour and take a look. So, we're still in this range right now. And until these lows are broken, we should still assume a upward trend, in my opinion. Um, so there's two or three scenarios that I always give in each video. That these are basically scenarios where I would look for trades. So the first one is if we come down and if we sweep this low again, this time I think it would sweep a lot of these wicks that are here. And so I would like to see something like that and reclaim that yearly open. If we get an additional sweep like this and close above all these lows, that will be really, really bullish. And you'll want to look for longs on a retest of that yearly open. Now, ideally, that would also be a golden pocket, and you can look for a trade like this. Okay, so that's scenario number one that I'm going to be looking for. And also, it's weekend now, so be patient with this. I wouldn't enter anything today, tomorrow, maybe Sunday after CME opens if it takes these lows. But be patient. Let's wait for Monday, ideally. Um, Next scenario is it is a little bit interesting, in my opinion, that we didn't take like any of these lows. I don't think we even took this one. So what I could see, and that's why I'm talking about that liquidity sweep scenario down here. What we could see is an additional upward move, maybe like this, to target that weekly open and previous yearly open. This is also the range highs, right? So that's a big resistance point. It's also a liquidity zone right here, and it's even the 618 from this move down. So I could see something like this where we look for some shorts to then come down for this low again and then ride it back up. So that's one additional scenario. If this zone gets flipped bullish, then we're on that bigger time frame scenario all the way up to 107K. That would be ideal for the bulls, but I do think that this range high zone is going to be very hard to flip, at least initially. I mean, we just have so much stacked things there. Like, look how big of a resistance point this was multiple times, right? So it would make sense for another retest and potential rejection. Now, if we break some nice structure here, then we could look for a golden pocket long from this area, which lines up with our previous weekly low, previous monthly open, something like that. So there's actually a few different scenarios in this area. My recommendation, you guys, is that we are still in this range, and now we are in a range within the range. So price clearly is not making up its mind. So when things like that happen, there's no reason to enter like right now, right? We're just chopping in this area. The only places you should be looking to enter are when we either, number one, if we sweep something like that, okay, this is an area that you want to enter. Or number two is if we deviate. And what's a deviation? A deviation is this TR pocket. So that's how we caught this exact top right here. We were in the range, finally went out of the range, took the short. So same thing. If we just nuke as well, we have that deviation down here at 77K. So look for deviations, look for liquidity sweeps, but don't just enter arbitrarily, randomly within the range, because you're just going to get chopped up. You're going to get crushed. So honestly, I'm not touching anything unless we get this zone up here, a sweep of this zone or this zone, or if we have some kind of altcoin that looks good. I'm trying to find an example. Here's a good example. If we have something like this on an altcoin where this was SUI, I longed this down here actually. So like I said, we swept a nice key liquidity level. I waited for a break of structure on the 1 minute right here, broke this structure, and then I just entered through my stop at the low and rode this one up. But there was an opportunity for a secondary trade where we swept this low, 15-minute time frame, broke structure from these highs, retraced into the golden pocket, got a decent 1R move, or if you held it here, about a 2R. So, and then this could continue going up, but I'm not going to enter anything or hold anything over the weekend. So unless I see another altcoin that has the setup where it sweeps the low, breaks structure, and retraces, that's another opportunity that I'm looking for. But until then, I mean, guys, we're just chopping around. And even this has been slightly disappointing. Like, I would have expected us to hit this yearly open and really pump to at least up here 93.5, and we might, but obviously this has been just a corrective looking choppy pump. Like I would have liked to see this like very fast kind of movement, especially from such a strong level. Obviously the trade still played out and we made money on it, but from levels like this, typically you see like a much more bullish reaction. And I'm honestly quite surprised that today this pump got retraced. So yeah, it's just a choppy market. I mean, look back here in December, you get a pump, you dump right away. You get another pump, you dump right away. I mean, it's crazy. I think better market conditions will come soon. You know, YouTube views are at an all-time low for crypto since 2021, and on top of that, exchange volumes are down too. So a lot of people are just zoned out of the market, and that's okay. That's the time to be buying spot, in my opinion. So, um, you know, I always preach DCA into Bitcoin and ETH, just hold for long term. So I've been doing that in this range, but ideally, you know, this range will be defeated soon. I'm honestly not mad if we just nuke to these lower levels so then we can get some nice longs and resume the uptrend. But hopefully we break out of this soon. As always, I will keep you updated as soon as I see anything important. So if we start heading up here, I'll create another video. If we sweep these lows, I'll create another video. And if you want real-time analysis, and I might start doing some signals soon, follow on Twitter and on Telegram. Anyways, guys, please give me your feedback in the comments. I'll see you all in the next video.